Hi guys, my name's Simon Grant. I'm the drumming teacher for Preston Lodge High School Pipe Band and here today to show you all how to wear the pipe band uniform. Hugely important that we get this right, okay, because when we're at parades or concerts or events, galas, anything we play at, we want to look as smart as possible. And it's not as hard as you think, but there's loads of tiny little things to think about for each part of the uniform and we'll run through them just now. So the first thing we're going to deal with is our leg dress, which is our socks. Ting! As if by magic, there's our socks, okay? So you'll have found, if they're brand new, they're still in their packet, their little plastic packet. If they're not brand new, and you've maybe tried to put them on before, all you're gonna do, unroll them, so you've got them the right way round, and if you're unsure of what the right way round is, if they've got that, they're the wrong way round. If you like that, it's the right way round. So make sure you do that now. Done. So let's have a look at one sock first. So you'll see with the sock, like all socks do, you've got a spot for the heel. So you're going to line that up with your heel, but you're going to look at the back and see where the line of the sock is with the heel. Because if you put it on just in line with your heel like that, you'll find that the heel's going to end up round the side. So you find the line, and what I'm talking about is there's your heel. Let's see if we can see this in the camera. So there's the heel. See how there's a line in the material? That line will go all the way up. Alright, it's got a few lines. There's the most predominant line there. Make sure that line is right through the heel, and that is where you're going to put the sock on at that point there. Okay, so let's put the sock on. So as we said there, finding the line. And I always wear a wee pair of ankle socks underneath the sock, and the reason I do that is sometimes the material of the sock rubbing on my heels or my toes, I might get blisters. I never get blisters if I'm wearing a thin pair of ankle socks. So I'm lining up, and you'll see I've got it on the money. Alright, and at this point I'm going to be looking for a straight line. And let's zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. So that's me put the sock on, and I'm going for this line here. That's going to be my centre line on this sock. So I'm making sure that the line goes a straight line all the way up my leg, all the way through my shin and up onto my knee bone. And I'm going to pull the sock right over my knees, as high up as it goes. So make sure you do that now. Okay, let's learn how to roll our socks down. So there's two ways to do this, although I say that there's many more than two, but I'm going to show you the two ways that we will do it. Okay, the first way is if you've got loads of sock, okay, as in like it's coming really high up your leg, you can do it this way. So you're going to roll it down a touch. Okay, so you're not rolling it all the way down, rolling it down to about there, and you're going to feel on your leg for a bone. Alright, and you're probably thinking, what are you on about? Everyone's got a bone. But on the side of your leg, it's like a joint, you'll feel a little joint there. On that joint, alright, you're going to try and get the finger to sit just underneath it, and you're looking for 3 fingers width, alright, to reach the bottom of that sock there, or the bottom of the bit that you just rolled up. Alright, so it's just a little bone just there. And I've found my 3 fingers there, and I'll roll it up just a touch more. There. Once I've done that, I'm going to put the flash, okay, and that's the outside where it's got the logo. I'm going to put it on the tip or the edge of that flash, where you've rolled the sock up. And I'm going to look for, remember our centre stripe we spoke about earlier? Middle stripe. I'm going to go 1 stripe to the outside, and that is where the line is going to be. That's where I'm going to line up the flash. And I just attach it to my leg, and I'm going to have a quick look, making sure everything's in line. It's quite hard to see in the video, alright, but you'll see there's my middle line there. there's the next line, and the flash is sitting just in line with that. Okay, once I've done that, I'll roll the sock over, and there I am there. I'll roll it up just a wee touch so we can make sure we can see the PL, and that's us there. Okay, and we'll show you the second way now. Okay, here's way number 2 to do it. This is the way I usually do it, is I'll roll the sock down a bit, and I'll make sure there's no snags or folds. There. And I'll find that bone, again, that we were doing earlier. Underneath 3 fingers, so I'm going to pull it up a bit. 3 fingers there, there's my 3 fingers there. So that's the length I've got the sock at. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to roll it over once to there, about halfway, and then I'm going to grab it from the bottom again and roll it again, and I end up with that. That's the way I like to do it, because I feel like I've got a thicker turn, I'm going to call it, a thicker fold, and I'm still maintaining that 3 fingers underneath that little bone there. Okay, at that point I'm going to roll that up just a bit like this, still maintaining that length, and I'm going to put the flash on that exact same line that I've done before. So there's one line in, attach the flash, and roll the sock down just a touch, and there we are. So I've got the flash on, I can see the whole of the PL logo, and it's nice and comfortable. Please note, don't make the flash too tight, because if you do, it's going to cut off a bit of circulation to your leg. You want to make it tight enough that it's on, and it's going to secure your sock. Okay, it's going to keep your sock up and stop it from falling down as you're marching round. So that is how you put on the sock. And you'll do the exact same for the other foot. The only difference is, instead of going outside on that foot, you would go outside on this foot. Same rule applies when you're putting on the sock. You're still going to find your centre line. You're going to roll it either all the way up or down like I did there. Attach the flash, and away you go. And you'll end up with a sock like this. And as if by magic, that's my socks on. Before we go any further and putting on the kilt and shirt, this is where you'll check your leg dress. Okay, so you put your legs together, and what you're looking for is to make sure the socks are sitting at the same length. So I can see that this one's sitting slightly higher than this, so I'm just going to pull this one up just a touch and make them match. And I would use a mirror, or you could look down, and you're just generally tidying everything up. So if you see that something's a bit longer, just fix it. If something's a bit shorter, just fix it. If your flash isn't in line, so remember we're talking about the lines, there's my second line in, there's my second line in. If I'm not quite in line, so this one's just moved slightly out, I'll just move it a touch. There we are, and I'm good. And you should, when you're finished sorting out your leg dress, it should be like looking in a mirror. Okay, there's your mirror there. They're the exact same either side. Okay? Okay, time to put on the brogues. Okay, so brogues, before you do put these on, make sure you give them a clean. Okay, give them a clean, get the boot brushes and polish out. Give them a clean. Make sure you get into the welts, the wee areas here, and make sure you get the heels and the toes. Okay, make them a really good clean before you put them on. So, I'm going to look at the right brogue. Depending on your lace length, okay, my laces aren't massively long. Mine are reasonably short. And that's important when it comes to twisting the laces. And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. So we're going to open up the brogue, slide it on, just like that. Okay, at this point, we're going to pull the laces nice and tight, and you're going to twist the laces. So depending on how long your laces are, if your laces are really, really long, you're going to want to do a lot of twists. And you'll experiment with this. okay? And if you're left with enough lace to tie the knot, then you've nailed it. If you're left with not enough lace, you need to take some twists out at the start. If you've got far too much lace and your knot is massive, then you're going to need to put more laces in, or twists in. So for me, I only do 4 twists. And what I mean by that is I'm going to twist the laces round each other. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to pull it tight, like that. And the twists should sit, as if you can see, on that centre line of the sock that I managed earlier. It'll sit on that line there, okay? And once you've done that, you're going to twist it around your leg. And I'm going to do a small half knot on the back. So just a little half knot. Pulling it tight-ish, again, not too tight because it's going to cut off the circulation. And I'm going to meet back here underneath the flash. And I'm going to do a double knot, like a double bow. And you'll see the 4 twists is perfect for me. Okay, because it gives me just enough lace to tie my knot, and it's sitting underneath the flash in perfect line, in a perfect line. And once you're done, you should see what looks like a St Andrew's cross. Right, so almost like the Scotland flag there. That's what we're trying to aim for. And the lace should not be coming up really high. It should be sitting underneath the flash in perfect line. So let's do the same with the left foot. And of course, pause the video if you need to give this a go. Right, pause it, try it, experiment with it, figure out how many twists you need to do to get this right. For me, it's 4. So I'm ready to go. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll pull it tight. And I'll wait there for a moment, let these catch up. And then I'm going behind the leg. Remember, I'm doing my little half knot. Little half knot behind the leg. Pulling it tight-ish, because I don't want to hurt myself. And then underneath the flash, directly underneath it, I'm going to do a double knot, double bow. Or double bow knot. Basically how you would tie your shoelaces. And I'm good. And at that point, once you've done that, I'll tilt the camera up a touch so you can see. I would check my leg dress again at that point. Alright, so I'm going to look down, check my laces. Yep, they look the same. Flashes, socks, none of it's moved. So that, at that point, that is me ready to go. My leg dress is done. That's you got your leg dress on, as you can see. Okay, next part of the operation is getting our white shirt on. Okay, so we're going to put on our white shirts now. Done. White shirt is on. Buttons done all the way to the top. Shirt needs to be pressed. Alright, iron your shirt. So you need to make sure you iron it. Alright, with a crease down the arm, crease down the arm, as it will do if it's just fresh out of the pack. It's going to have a crease in it. Okay. You will have a waistcoat on which covers these areas. I always say it's good practice just to iron the whole shirt anyway. Okay. And the next thing you're going to do is put on your tie like this. Done. Tie is on. Okay. Starting to feel quite smart. I'm liking it. Alright, I'm liking it. So the tie's on. If you've got a clip-on tie, just clips behind the collar here. If you've got a normal tie, you'll try and do a knot like mine. Mine's got a Windsor, and it's the same knot I've had in this tie for years. I just loosen it off and hang it up. Okay, make sure your tie knots are nice and smart. The next thing we're going to move on to is the kilt. Okay, here it is. There's our kilt here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll undo the buckles. First one undone. Undo your second buckle. Some of the kilts might have 2 buckles on one side, but the majority will have just the 2 buckles and that's it. Once you've done that, the kilt is unrolled and you're left with this. Okay, what you're going to do is hold it like this. Okay, so the pleats, and these are the pleats here. Alright, the fancy looking bits. Okay, there in the middle, and you're going to hold it like that, but behind your back, like this. So I'm holding it behind my back. As you can see, the pleats are to the rear. Okay, and I've got two parts. I've got the right part and the left part. I'm going to take the right part and pass it over, and you'll see you've got a hole where the buckle was. Pass it over there, and I'm going to feed it into the buckle like that, and I'm going to fasten it, not too tight because I don't want to suffocate myself. Okay, that's it fastened, and then I'm going to twist the kilt round, and I'm going to fasten the other side now. And then I'll twist it back round, and at this point I'm looking for my centre line again. So we spoke about it before with the brogues. For me, the way this kilt was made is I've got a centre line there. My grey line is the centre. For some folk, alright, the centre line might be the middle of those two lines, depending on how the kilt was made. Okay, for me, that kilt sits there. Some of these might be there. You'll know when you put it on. Okay, you'll see that this bit's maybe not in the middle, it needs to come over. For me, if I have the two grey lines in the middle, then it's not sitting centre, so I would have it there. Okay, your tie tucks into the kilt, just like that, if it's long enough to reach. And at this point I always reach under my kilt and I'll find the edges of my shirt, I'll just pull it through. Alright, just give it a wee tug, because it might feel a bit uncomfortable. And then a wee tug again. There we are. And then pull it down, tidy up, make sure my lines are right. So I feel that everything's straight. It's good to go. I'm ready for the next phase, which is the waistcoat. Here's our waistcoat. I'm wearing a slightly different waistcoat. I've got a grey waistcoat with a purple background. Alright, just because I'm a bit fancy. Alright, this is the waistcoat I like to wear when I'm doing events out with the band. The band waistcoat everyone wears is the exact same. It's black with buttons along the side and two pockets. And you're literally going to put it on just like a jacket you would. Okay, and fasten up the buttons. If it doesn't fit, let us know. Alright, and we'll get you a new one. And usually, we don't fasten the very bottom button. And I'll tell you why in a second. There we are, good to go. We usually leave the bottom button undone, okay? And it's a good luck thing. Alright, so you'll see pipe bands all over the place. Always leave the bottom button undone. And you might think, why is that? Alright, it's to do with, I'm sure it's King Henry VII. I'm going to blabber here, I might be completely wrong. But King Henry VII, after big fancy banquets and meals, his belly was like, and he used to undo his bottom button to allow a little breath. Okay, I'm sure that's what it is. If I'm wrong, please don't sue me or give me a hard time. And at this point, again, I'm just checking my lines. So I've got all my buttons are in a line, meeting up with the centre line of my kilt and meeting up with the centre line of my tie. So you'll see that a pattern's starting to form. We're talking about lines all the time. Everyone's going to be as straight as possible to make sure we're as smart as we can possibly be. Next phase, sparring. Sparring! Okay, I've not got one of the leather pipe band sporrings. This is my own personal one. It's the exact same in the sense that it's a sporring and it's a chain. Okay, you'll have normal silver chains. I've got block chains. They're the exact same. Okay, so the sporring is essentially a purse. I know you're thinking, why have I got a purse on me? Alright, that's what it is. Okay, it's a Highland purse. So when we put it on, we'll put it over our front area here, below the waistcoat, and we're going to fasten it behind our backs here. Okay, and if you can't feel for it, then get someone to help you. Right, we're just passing it, and what I usually do is before I tighten it, is I'll sit in a mirror or stand in a mirror and I'll tighten it until I can still see all of the chains and it's nice and comfortable. It's not going to fall down. Okay, I can see all of the chain and it's sitting nice and relaxed just above my butt. Okay, and at that point you would complete the attachment. I'm going to see if I can see myself in the video there. Just feeding it through, and if you've got a little loop that you can attach it to, then attach it to that, and you're done. And again, at this point I'm going to check my lines. Alright, so I'm going to make sure everything's in a straight line. As I see, I think the sporring's a bit too high. I'm going to take it down one loop, and that might happen when you're putting it on. You might be like, this is just a bit too high, it might be too low. And I'll just fasten that now. And then I'm going to check again. Yep, way better, way better. So I'm making sure everything's in line. So I've got my sporrings on, buttons in line with the tie. The sporring is in line with the centre of the kilt, which is in turn in line with the centre of the waistcoat. And that is me ready to go. Okay, all I need to do now is put on my jacket like this, and I'm good. Okay, when I've got the jacket on, I like to make sure it's tucked underneath the sporring as well, just like that. Really smart. Snare drummers, when we put our drums on, we take the sporring and slide it to our side on the right, and it just sits there on the side. Okay, because you're going to have a drum on, it's going to bang off the sporring and damage it. So we slide it over. Once we finish playing and the drums are off, just slide it back to your centre line. Okay, and then the last thing we put on is our Glengarry. So let's look at that just now. Okay, we're ready to put our Glengarries on. Here's our Glengarry. Okay, I've got my old army one that I wear. Still the same dark red tootie. Alright, tootie's the wee pom-pom. Okay, when you're putting your Glengarries away and you're looking after them, I like to tuck my tails inside the hat on either side of the tootie there. And the reason I do that is it keeps the tails nice and straight, just like this. And you'll see that your tails might not be straight. If they're not straight, put a towel over the top of them and give them a little iron. Alright, and they'll straighten out, absolutely no bother at all. So, we're putting on the Glengarry, we shake the tails so they're sitting away, and we put it over our head, and again, we're looking for these straight lines. Always straight lines. So for me, I like to have it sitting maybe a finger length, you don't need to do this, but a finger length above the eyebrows, and it'll sit like that. Okay, and it'll sit nicely on the back of your head, just like that. Okay, you'll see some folk when they wear Glengarries, they pull it right back like this. That looks ridiculous for me. I hate it, absolutely hate it. Always sit it in the middle, and the way I like to do it, this is an army thing, this is how we done it, is you would look and it would sit, I sat it over my eyebrows there, and I can see in my eye that that's right in the middle. Then I just slide it back softly, and it's on. Alright, it's not yanked down, sitting on, nice and relaxed. Line is in the middle. Okay, I've got a squint nose, I know, but it's in line with the centre of my nose, and again, everything's in line. Okay, and you'll see the cat badge will be on your left, and the tails sitting to your rear. And that's your Glengarry on. And that's it, everybody. That's the kit on. Okay. Again, take your time with this. Pause and rewind the video as and when you need to make sure you're as smart as you can be when we're out on those parades and gigs, events and concerts, competitions, or whatever else we'll be playing at. If any of your kit doesn't fit, let any of us know, any of the training team, and we'll make sure we get kit to fit you. Because if the kit doesn't fit, you're not going to look right at all. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video of how to wear the Preston Lodge High School Pipe Band kit, and I will no doubt see you soon, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all wearing the kit as smart as you can be on our next engagement. Bye.